Did you have your stomach pumped?
No, so they did find it in my system, but it wasn't enough. Like, honestly, and like I wasn't like, I didn't even take them thinking like I'm going to do this, I'm going to do myself. Like, I was just thinking like I already had drinking alcohol that night, and then I took some pain pills to take the pain away. So no, I didn't have a stomach pump.
Okay, let me take a couple Percocets and some Xanaxes to calm down.
I was just thinking like I already had drinking alcohol that night, and then I took some pain pills to take the pain away. 10 pills, is that a lot? I don't know.
That's a lot.
Maybe 8.
A couple Percocets and some Xanaxes.
Oh, that's what happened with Anna Nicole. She said Trim Spa, she lost all that weight, and there was a minor that like died from it, and that's why they stopped selling Trim Spa, because they had like ephedra in it. Spa? Don't you remember she lost all that weight, and then she did those commercials for diet pills? It's like Trim Spa, baby.
Oh, they were selling like meth, right?
It was like ephedra in it, and it was like
crazy.
Yeah, and I was taking it as a kid.
Anna Nicole Smith, and she used to endorse Trim Spa when I was like 12.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I want Trim Spa. I remember she lost all that weight, and I told my mom, like, please go get me some Trim Spa.
Yeah.
My mom was like, no, what? Absolutely not. You're a child. I obviously did the Trim Spa after Anna Nicole endorsed it. I was too young to be on it. To be honest, Anna Nicole Smith, and she used to endorse Trim Spa when I was like 12.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I want Trim Spa. I remember she lost all that weight, and I told my mom, like, please go get me some Trim Spa.
Yeah.
My mom was like, no, what? Absolutely not. You're a child.
Seeing Anna Nicole, I was on Trim Spa. The legal age was, I think, 13. And it was like, don't use this if you're under 13 or something like that. It had like ephedra in it, and ephedra was this drug that just made your heart, well, I'll speak from my heart, just I felt like I was about to have a heart attack. And I used to pass out all the time in school, so I don't know if it was like low blood sugars. They always gave me candy bars, but could have been also that I was taking diet pills at freaking 7 years old.
My mom's like, no, what? Absolutely not. You're a child.
I was taking diet pills at freaking 7 years old. I haven't drank in like so long, like literally like probably 10 years.
We had a lot of fancy food, and I was drunk. Woo-hoo.
We were a little, drunk or whatever. Because he calls himself an empath, but there was very little behind those eyes. Because a real empath wouldn't call themselves an empath, you know what I mean? Shane is, people always come for him for like calling himself an empath, but he is very like empathetic. He's very like, has sympathy for a lot of people, so.
And even for my daughter, she gets a lot of offers for like cute little kid campaigns and commercials, and we haven't said yes.
Because I always wanted to be a child actor. Okay. And my daughter too, we're like, well, we've gotten.
She's so cute.
Yeah, people were like, they wanted her in this commercial, and we were like kind of debating on it. And we're like, well, we probably should, and we ended up doing it, and she like loved it. I mean, she's literally 9 months old, and she's like smiling and loving it.
We haven't said yes.
We did this commercial with her. I really do love being on set with her, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to be that pusher just because I wanted this. We got offers for her commercials, like big commercials for her, and we just haven't done it yet. We did this commercial with her because I'm just like, I just like really have to like weigh the pros and cons of it, because I'm like, okay, once you put her in like a commercial or something, that's like, you're like kind of putting it out there, you know what I mean? Not that I'm opposed to it or it could happen in the future, but just as a baby right now, we're just like, whatever. And she like loved it. I mean, she's literally 9 months old, and she's like smiling and loving it. That whole year that I was in that group, I from 2017 to 2019 when I ended up in mental hospital, I never did any drugs. They always would say, oh, she was always on drugs. I was like, I didn't take a sleeping pill. I took nothing. I'm coming to my house with David, to my apartment with David, and I remember being like, she has to stay in the car. Like, there's no way I'm letting like a 17-year-old up in my apartment, like with you and this other grown man. You know what I mean? It's like so odd. And like me back then at like 28, where I was like literally off my rocker and like on Xannies and stuff like that, I was like, how am I like coherent enough to know this? But like a school teacher or other adults in like with a power position wouldn't know this. I never drank, like nothing. I never took any drugs that time. The only time I started doing drugs was after all that happened, where I was like literally off my rocker and like on Xannies.
And like while I was with him, I didn't take anything.
Renesmee from Twilight, I thought was so pretty. The little baby from Twilight. Anyways,
the actual baby, he didn't watch that. He's straight. I told you.
I don't know Twilight.
But Twilight's so good. We just watched it for the first time, like a couple months ago when I was pregnant.
So this was my first time watching Twilight.
But what is with all these vampires like lately? Okay, basically what I'm referring to is this new Twilight, Breaking Dawn, is coming out like pretty soon, a few weeks away, and everyone is like freaking out like crazy. Okay, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I've seen the first one, awful. Second one, not so bad. This third one just looks terrible, and I've read the books, so before y'all get on me that I didn't read books or whatever, I read the books. I don't get it, okay? The books are better than the movies, I'll give you that.
We just watched Twilight for the first time. I've never seen Twilight.
I've seen the first one, awful.
Coming in at number 10 is the movie Warm Bodies. It just came out this year, and I have to say it was terrible. It was like a poor man's Twilight. Coming in at number 8 as the worst movie ever is Twilight. So what's worse than a poor man's Twilight is the actual Twilight. All these movies, do not even see them. I attempted to watch the first one, terrible. Second one, got through half of it.
Second one, not so bad.
And then if there was a third and fourth, I just didn't even bother. I was just like, oh, hell no. And I heard they just got worse as they went. It's just terrible. It's a bunch of kids. There's werewolves and vampires again. It's all make-believe, all ridiculous. No attractive people in this movie. There's no hotness. There's no storyline. Yeah, I did just watch Twilight for the first time over the weekend. When this was all going on in like 2008, I couldn't care less because like literally was just, just getting high every day, like wondering if I was gonna like have a bed to sleep in.
So it's true, I've actually never seen Twilight. This was my first weekend that I actually watched all the Twilight movies. I didn't even know what they were about, really. They really came out at a time when I was just trying to stay alive, basically. Okay, I was a little too old for Twilight, so now at 33 I'm catching up on it.
At 2009 to 2015, I blacked out. I don't remember any pop culture. I was definitely like in a ditch somewhere. We saw Twilight for the first time last year, and everyone's like, Twilight came out 2009. I'm like, I missed Justin Bieber, Twilight, like all that stuff. I like don't know. Like I'm just like I have no idea. I blacked out those years, like 2006 to like 2010. Like I always say this, I missed everything, like Twilight, Justin Bieber. Like I don't know.
You missed Twilight?
I missed Twilight.
That seems like something that would be right up your alley.
Well, now I love it. Yeah, I'm catching up. You know what I mean? I was just blacked out for like 5 years of my life. You probably don't know my past, but like I was like a stripper. I was on Hollywood Boulevard, just doing drugs till like 3 a.m. Just like passed out all the time. So I just like missed that part of my life.
So it's true, I've actually never seen Twilight.
I was never, even like when it came out, I just did not find them hot. Not to be a pick-me and be like, I never found them hot, but like I kind of didn't.
I was such a pick-me over Twilight. Like everyone was into it, so I like had to like be into it too to like be cool.
Oh, I was like the pick-me where I'm like, I don't even like Twilight.
I would have like found out and discovered Twilight before October of this year. I probably would have done a Twilight themed wedding. Hello, Robert Pattinson. Like, I don't like Twilight, but he's pretty hot, so I bought those.
This was an era of life where I was like literally like in the gutter like every night. This is why like I'm guessing, I don't know, I'm gonna guess 2009 to like 2012 is Lady Gaga. Because this is like Twilight where I'm like, where was I? Like I didn't even know those movies came out. Like, even like when it came out, I just did not find them hot. Like I was like literally out of my mind. So I think that era, Justin Bieber, don't remember when he came out. 2015 I remember. It's like 2006, 2012, kind of fuzzy. Was it 2009 to 2015 out of it? I blacked out those years, like 2006 to like 2010. At 2009 to 2015 I blacked out. I don't remember any pop culture. I was definitely like in a ditch somewhere. 2006, 2012, 2009 to 2015, 2006 to like 2010, 2009 to 2015, 2015 I remember. Like I always say this, I missed everything, like Twilight, Justin Bieber. I missed Justin Bieber.
Trisha fucking Paytas. I've seen your tweets, you weird cow.
I feel like my Jonathan Bailey era is like coming to an end only because he's just so massive and popular that I'm just like, there's no chance for me, and I'm just gonna fold it in right now. I think maybe if he becomes niche again or something, he's just too mainstream. It's like Justin Bieber, it's like, I think that's why I never was fans of like Justin Bieber or even One Direction, because I'm like, that's just too massive. There's no way for me to get in there. I never was fans of like Justin Bieber or even One Direction. I never was fans of like Justin Bieber.
I said Justin Bieber today. Oh, we talked about that already. Like I actually died a little inside. I cried a little inside. I cried a little because the fact that I'm 27, I can't really go up and make it like, plus you hear stories that he doesn't take pictures of people. I just like, I think all I wanted would have been like a selfie. But then again, I'm like, I'm 27, but it's like, I love Justin Bieber. I would say it's like once in a like lifetime, but he like always at the Montage Beverly Hills. So I'm like always there. So, like I see him, but like I want a picture because I would just stare at that picture all day while I flick my little. I want to say hi to Justin Bieber. What's up? I stand for you all day long. World tour, new merch, purpose tour merch.
I never was fans of like Justin Bieber or even One Direction.
I love you. I'm a One Directioner for life. Yay!
We love hairstyles. He's my new obsession right now. I love hair. I'm in the hair. I'm like down the hairy rabbit hole.
I was kind of late to the Harry game too, and now I'm like, oh my god.
What made you fall in love with him?
I don't know. I think just when everyone's in love with somebody, I like to do it too.
I'm the same way, but I couldn't be like that with Harry. I was like, I don't get this. Like I never got it when everyone went to LA. I was like, I don't get this at all.
So I just wanted to make this video for my future husband, Mr. Harry Styles from One Direction. Yes, I know a lot of girls think they're gonna marry him, but I'm sorry. Like, me and him are meant to be. So this video is for him. Harry, I love you so much. I am so happy you turned 18 earlier this year, so I don't feel like a pedophile.
Now I'm in my 1D era, and I was like going through the old songs that I like didn't remember, because again, One Direction started in 2010. When again, we know 2010, I was also like just not around. 2009 to like 2015, I'm clocked out. I thought his band was really great.
One Direction?
Yes. But I was more of like a Zayn fan, a Zayn Malik fan. Did you guys have one?
We've had all of them.
One Direction
except
people?
for Liam Payne. Well, so I've interviewed One Direction as a group twice.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
They were great. The one I really loved was him and Luke Connard, and there was a girl dancing in the middle of them, and it was called Story of My Life, and I thought, this is such a good song. Like, I can't believe he wrote this song. I thought it was Joey Gustaf's song the whole time, and then it was Joey, and I was like, wow, this is so deep. Meanwhile, Harry Styles is the one getting deep with it. I always thought that was a Joey Gustaf song, and it's not, and I feel so betrayed in so many ways. But he never gave credit. He didn't say like One Direction cover or anything like that. I was like, I thought it was Joey Gustaf's song the whole time. I was just thinking, I respected Joey so much because of that. I was like, wow, he's such a good songwriter. That's so good. It's One Direction song. I was like, put that in your title, Joey. Put One Direction cover.
You don't like Harry Styles?
Oh, I'll probably get canceled. No, I don't know him. I
I love you, Harry Styles.
I've never made fun of race at all.
Arigato, tenbatos! It's Trish! That's right, Japanese pop star Trish! Ah!
Because to me, that was always a don't touch subject.
It's gotta get like yellow inside.
This would be an Asian girl's vagina.
No.
Okay. As far as making fun of like races,
I also have Hello Kitty chopsticks, which shows that I love Hello Kitty. I'm a true fan, and I'm also not racist because I eat rice.
I don't know what compels people to, but I'm not judging anybody. People make race jokes all the time, and they've always just fall flat in my opinion. Why did you choose to snub Jungle Fever and Big Belly Honest? This is from a different person, Bogdy, from My Daddy Issues. I don't know. I didn't realize that people liked them. Those are like kind of like joke songs that I wrote. To me, that was always a don't touch subject.
We were talking about AIDS, monkeys, black people having sex with monkeys to get AIDS.
I've never made fun of race at all, because to me, that was always a don't touch subject.
He could whip me every night, just like Django.
He could whip me every night just like Django. I thought that was a great line. I wrote it. I was very proud of myself. That's why I always say with hate, I'm like, I know people are jealous when they hate. I would never be like, haters are jealous. As a former hater, I know that's why they're hating. I get it. Oh, these haters keep talking shit about us because they're jealous. And it's like, even when YouTubers talk that way.
So like I said, I understand like haters and people being mean, like, you know, it comes from a place of like jealousy, bitterness.
I think in general, if in life, if people are rude to you, there's some sort of insecurity there. There's something that you're doing that they may be envious of, but to be like, they're jealous, the haters are jealous. I can understand haters because I'm like, I was one for so long because I was just like jealous of so many people. It's like, maybe they're going through something. Maybe you're rubbing them the wrong way.
All these haters and people who say negative things about us, they actually love us a lot more than we think.
It's so true. And then people will be like, no, she thinks everyone's jealous of her. And it's like, but it's true.
They think it's a halo effect. Like pretty girls have like this halo effect or whatever. And they're just like egotistical. But no, like
it's just the truth.
Yeah.
Because I always think that, because it's not like I think people are jealous, like, oh, like she's fat or whatever. I always think people are jealous that like I'm just like fat and like happy. Maybe they're just, you know, as people do with people on TV, you're a character to them. They're just talking shit. It's entertainment to them, you know. My internet was always shut off, and I was connected. Our internet and cable was connected because it was like Spectrum. Yeah, I was like, oh, I have nothing now, so. That happened so much. Even when I was piss poor, I'd always make sure my gas and my electricity and my internet was always paid, always. Especially Shane, I know the Shane I knew back in the day, like 5 years ago, he could definitely have changed, like was like rooting for people's downfalls, like would like be excited when someone got canceled and stuff. I just didn't know that side about him at all. Like, and I do believe Tati in a lot of it, where it's just like he talks about James Charles, but like I never once heard him talk about James Charles. Again, granted, we weren't like super close during that time, so maybe it was like a new enemy he had, but in general, when we would like gossip about people, it wasn't like hatred, like it wasn't like jealousy, hate, it was just like a key, like Strawberry 17. It's just like fun. It wasn't like, oh my god, this is annoying girl. You know, it was just like, oh, it's Key, we're not gonna like try to take her down or anything. Like was like rooting for people's downfalls, like would like be excited when someone got canceled and stuff. I just didn't know that side about him at all. Like, so like back to Shane, when you were saying that like darkness stuff, I felt that way too. Like, when we would like gossip about people, it wasn't like hatred, like it wasn't like jealousy, hate, it was just like a key. Like I always felt that way, and it's just like fun. So like back to Shane, when you were saying that like darkness stuff, I felt that way too. Like we gossiped and talked about people, but it was like fun and like hard. Like the reason I found Andrew Valentine, my music video director, is because Joey used him first.
Shane, I owe everything to. Like, I'm literally, my favorite thing in the world that I do is my music and my touring and stuff, and my music videos and all that stuff. Literally wouldn't have been able to do any of that without Shane. I did not know it was possible to make music videos. He literally introduced me to my director that I've done over 40 videos with, Andrew Valentine, back in 2015.
I have an eating disorder, which I was never properly diagnosed with until I realized I had BPD, and then when I went to therapy for, you know, I thought I was like disordered eating.
My eating disorder. So I am a binge eater, and that is an eating disorder, and it's taken me a while to figure it out, because I actually got a nutritionist, I've gone to therapists, I've gone to psychiatrist.
I thought I was like disordered eating.
If you have an eating disorder, and I have one, I had one, I have one, I'm struggling with one, I've talked about it before, I have a binge eating disorder.
So I'm someone who suffers from an eating disorder that I never knew was an actual eating disorder, and I only recently started seeking treatment for it last year when I was 31 years old.
I don't do the purging part, but I've never gotten help for it.
As someone who has a mental illness and became a parent, it was like double jeopardy to get postpartum depression, and I had it pretty moderate the first time and I didn't realize it.
I just didn't know what it was. And I realized like now it's like postpartum depression, but I didn't really think I was. I went to therapy about it.
Did you have postpartum last time?
I didn't think so, but like looking back, I definitely did, and I should have seen somebody.
Okay.
I went to some therapy specializing in postpartum depression.
I think this time I will actually like talk to someone. I think before I was like, I got it, I have it handled.
I don't think I suffered that much in comparison, not that it's a competition. I think I did have a little bit of it.
I was in this really strong postpartum depression, and I kind of wasn't like fully aware of it.
But I did see a therapist right away before I started seeing any signs of it, also mixed with my borderline. I was like, let me just make sure I got this under control.
Looking back, I definitely did, and I should have seen somebody.
Okay.
You could be so thankful, you could feel so blessed and so happy in life and have everything you want. But that postpartum, those hormones will kick in and you'll just feel that way. And I had to go to therapy for it.
I think this time I will actually like talk to someone. I think before I was like, I got it, I have it handled. I always thought I was in relationships. I've talked about them online. I do not need to go on further, but I always thought I was in serious relationships, and like the person has like a full-on girlfriend or wife or something, and I'm like, oh, I thought we were like in love.
I was, oh my god, I was a mess. He knew me when I was dating Roger, which was such a mess because it was just, that was just a mess and depressing unto itself. Knowing at the time for most of the relationships I had a girlfriend, but like him thinking it's gonna change.
I've been definitely side piece. Sometimes I knew it, sometimes I didn't. Yeah, there's been times where like I kind of knew it.
My relationship that ended last year that I was in for 2.5 years, like, you know, I had known, in every relationship, I had known that I wasn't the only girl. But I put up with it.
I was like just like a side chick, and I didn't even know.
Roger kind of knew I like had a girlfriend. I don't know, so it wasn't that shocking because I had heard rumors before.
So when I look back at my exposed videos, especially in my early 20s, I'm just like, kind of don't regret it.
Do you have any regrets about the exposure videos you made about people in the past? Yeah, absolutely. Like I don't know. I just wanted to like hurt people so bad because I was hurt, and I totally regret it 1000%. I wish I wouldn't have done those. It does suck. And I know karma's real, and it came back around to me. And like, but besides the karma part of it, like I just wish I didn't like hadn't ruined people's lives and made those videos. Like I was so hurt by people that I was like, I'm gonna expose them. But really, eye for an eye makes the whole world blind.
The guys that I had like exposing videos on in my early 20s, I feel like they eventually learned, because then you stop hearing crappy stories about them. Either that or they just, you know, whatever, they settle down or whatever like that. But it's like, I think they do understand the gravity of social media and like how you're not supposed to like hurt people because now you'll have consequences to your actions. Where back in the day you could like cheat on someone and no one would know and it's like whatever. Sorry, your feelings are hurt. Sorry, I was married and didn't tell you. Sorry, I was this or whatever. It's like whatever. Now it's like no, there's consequences for your actions, and I think there's really nothing wrong with that, to be honest. And I totally regret it 1,000%. I wish I would have done those. Social media justice, you know what I mean? And people. And I don't think it's life ruining because you ruin someone's life. Like if you lie to someone and manipulate someone, like you're ruining their life and their like mental health. Like you should also have some accountability taken. I just wish I didn't like hadn't ruined people's lives and made those videos. I love that girls do this. I think they should continue doing this if you've been manipulated by a guy and like lied to, especially lied to.
In a relationship, I had known that I wasn't the only girl.
I never had someone fly me out. I wish they did, but I would always pay.
There was a guy that I was like, I idolized, right? And I was so excited. He flew me to New York like once a month to like whatever, like as an escort. We didn't even like have sex sometimes. Like honestly, like he would fly me out there for like 4 or 5 days, pay me like $10K for like 5 days or whatever. Like we maybe had sex once, but he like wanted to talk to me. He had like a wife and everything, a whole ass wife and shit, and like wanted to talk. Like literally, like
he's a guy we'd recognize.
100%, but I got in trouble because I did do a video about it and I got kind of like in trouble about it. So like whatever. But because I say names. I have said names on my thing before. Like if someone's an asshole, I'll say their name. But like this guy was really nice and sweet, so I didn't like whatever. But yeah, and he just wanted to talk. It was so weird, and he would cry. So we'd had sex, and then like I remember he cried like one or two times, and he like cried after, and he's like, "I'm just so sorry. Like I know you're just like." He was kind of mean too. I guess he was kind of mean. He called me like stuff. He's like, "I know you're just a." It's like, oh okay.
Wow.
I guess it's dark. I just thought he was nice, but maybe that's a little crude.
Is he a guy that we could never imagine doing this?
Yes.
It's always those guys, isn't it?
Always. Well, he's dead now. But.
I've never had someone fly me out. At 16, I was going to like visit people on set that were like 50 years old. And I've never had any acting or TV or singing lessons or anything like that.
I went to acting classes out here in LA.
Why don't you take vocal lessons? I've always wanted to.
But I've gotten better. I've taken like voice lessons and stuff like that.
Do a series where you take professional vocal lessons. I would love to. I need vocal lessons. And I've never had any acting or TV or singing lessons or anything like that.
My first agent I found through an acting class, so find a reputable acting class. I went to Playhouse West here, and it was an awesome school. They do these showcases, agents are invited, managers, and that's how I found my first one. It was pretty good. Got me, some pretty big jobs, or okay jobs anyways.
And to try acting, I did like these scam acting classes.
With your
I've never had any acting or TV or singing lessons or anything like that. I remember at like 5, there was this thing called Barbizon. Do you remember that? I'm surprised because it was in Southern California because my dad lived out here, and it was like Barbizon models, and you would go and like pay like, it was literally like a couple $1,000s, and your kid could be in like modeling school, and I'd go to that, and you would take pictures and acting classes, and I was one called BB's Kids, and I was always just taking acting because I just like wanted to do it so bad.
Yeah, I'm not really that person. And then this year I kind of got back on the wagon through somebody I know, and yeah, but I did a lot of pills, like a lot of like pain pills and stuff for my thing. So that's been my whole life, is just pills, which I can't even take them. Like if I have surgery now, I don't even, like I tore my meniscus in September, and I didn't take any pain pills for it. I was just like, oh, I don't want to do that. So I was definitely high and like up and stuff when I did those videos.
Well, see, now I'm back on pain pills for my knee injury.
Like I tore my meniscus in September, and I didn't take any pain pills for it.
And like I said, aside from Percocets right now, I'm not on any medication or drugs. I drank a little tonight, but
I love TikTok for that, because we didn't know non-binary.
Years ago, I have a clip, and I'll see if I can find it, saying that I wasn't transgender, but I wanted to identify as non-binary.
I never was aware of the term non-binary, and I heard it from like Gen Z and TikTok, and I started, and I was like, oh, well, that's what I am.
Is it going to be Barbie themed?
Of course. Malibu Barbie.
What a perfect day to talk about it.
I know. We'll work out Barbie today. What Barbie would you be if you could be any Barbie? There's so many Barbies.
There's so many. Okay, well, first of all, I want to know that's a great question.
Yes.
And I'll get into it in a minute. Were you a Barbie girl as a kid?
Oh, of course.
I hated being classified as female. I hated being told to play with like Barbies and stuff like that.
If you guys don't already know, I'm obsessed with Barbie. My daughter's name is Malibu Barbie. Yes, I named her that last year. I love Barbie. I love all things Barbie. I've been a pink, or as they call it, a Barbie core, but I was going to call it like pink aesthetic for like literally my whole life.
I think with Shane and me, I think we both were like so insecure, and like, yeah, just really a lot of trauma too. Just, you know what I mean? Like a lot of trauma, and I feel like just not worked through trauma. I don't know if I never talked to him about it, obviously, but like therapy, like I know I wasn't for like the longest time, like up until I was like 29.
I've gone to therapy for years. Sometimes I would go 5 times a week.
I actually found out I was borderline in like 2019. It's the first time I ever heard of it.
I've always been like diagnosed with like different things like borderline personality disorder.
It's the first time I ever heard of it.
Doctors who have studied to get their degrees in psychology and stuff have said bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder.
In 2019 was the first time I heard the term borderline
personality disorder, which I have been diagnosed with before.
I was hearing voices, which some people would call them like intrusive thoughts, I guess, but mine were like actual voices where I'm like talking to the person in the room with me, you know what I mean? So I don't know the difference between intrusive thoughts and what I was feeling, because I felt like there was people and I was talking to them in the room. So it was definitely scary. I went to a doctor. They like, you're not schizophrenic, but I was able to obtain schizophrenic medication from someone else. So I was like taking that, which probably wasn't helping because
You got black market schizo medication?
Yes.
I'm on medication that maybe I shouldn't be on. I'm on schizophrenic medication, and I guess I'm not schizophrenic. I don't know. I've been referred to this medication twice by two different people, two different doctors.
I was able to obtain schizophrenic medication from someone else. I am on a medication for schizophrenia, although I am not a diagnosed schizophrenic. I've had 2 doctors give me medication for schizophrenia. I went to a doctor. They like, you're not schizophrenic.
I started like hearing voices. I was on this different medication it was for schizophrenia at the time, even though I wasn't schizophrenic, but I thought I was. Like, I was told I was on medication for it.
They like, you're not schizophrenic.
I was told I was.
I went to a doctor. They like, you're not schizophrenic.
And I actually went to a therapist for real that told me I had schizophrenia.
I am not a diagnosed schizophrenic. People have like diagnosed me as schizophrenic before, and I was like on schizo medication. They like, you're not schizophrenic.
So I had like schizophrenia diagnosis in January of this year.
You got black market schizo medication?
Yes.
I took psych meds. I've been prescribed, right? Psych meds for wrong. What do you call it? Mental illness. Wrong, diagnosis, I guess. I've taken for bipolar. I've taken like lithium. I've taken like schizophrenic medication.
I was able to obtain schizophrenic medication from someone else.
I've been prescribed.
So I did get some black market. I've had 2 doctors give me medication.
Are you still in therapy?
I haven't this one, and I feel like maybe that's why I'm a mess, because I have not done therapy at all since I've gotten pregnant.
Are you doing therapy now?
Yeah, I do DBT. So those are like group classes, which are really great. You go once a week. I have not done therapy at all.
I worked at Target in Marietta, California. I was 18 and I was living with my dad and going to school part-time, and I really wanted a job to save money. And Target at the time wasn't what it is now. Like, Target didn't have really cute accessories. I worked in the electronics department, and I only lasted about 5 weeks before I quit Target, quit school, and moved to Hollywood to become an actress.
I was a Target employee, and guess what? I got fired because I was paranoid. I literally thought that everyone was like literally trying to kill me inside of Target. I worked in the electronics department in Marietta, California when I was 18 years old, and I thought everyone was trying to murder me, including my manager of the electronics department, and I got fired.
I worked at Target, and I, what do you call it? Oh, I like didn't call someone a guest, because at Target you have to call them guests, and I didn't call them guests. I called them like a customer, and they're like, it is guest, and I got like a markdown, and then I finally lost my job there when someone pushed a button in electronics, and if you don't respond within like 30 seconds, like you get like a warning, and I had like 500 warnings, so I got fired.
My first job was at a Target in Marietta, California. I worked in the electronics part of it. I was going to community college at the time, and I never had held a job, and I was 18 at the time when I got the job. So I was just overwhelmed by it all. And fortunately for me, I was still living with my dad, so I was able to just quit.
I got fired.
But that was never a good thing, because it kind of set in motion me quitting other jobs when I was like living on my own and I couldn't afford to quit. So I just quit because, like I said, it was a lot. It was a lot for me to handle, never having a job before. Target is not a good first job. I wouldn't recommend it.
That was my goal. I auditioned for Disneyland so many times, literally never got anything. Not even singing, to even be like a character, not even a face character, but like a head character, and they never hired me.
I once auditioned for a Disney face character. True story. Do you want to hear what they said to me? I walked in, they said, you're too fat, get out.
This fun fact, I actually did audition to be a Disney princess twice. And clearly I was too fat for Disney.
I did audition once for a Disney character for real. I went to the audition, but I like lied and said like they told me I was fat and to get out or something like that. And all the Disney fans were like, they would never say that to you and blah, blah. They just cut me. I just didn't get far, but it was partial live
like
or whatever.
A Disney character or like at the theme park?
Yeah, I auditioned to be a Disney character. I went to like one of those auditions, and yeah, they like if you make it past that round, then they put you in a wig. Like there's so many rounds, I guess. I don't know. I literally went to the first round and got cut immediately. And they said absolutely nothing to me, but I was just like, they called me fat and said I would never be able to be in all the Disney adults came for me on TikTok. I once auditioned.
Oh, I auditioned for Disneyland so many times.
I actually did audition to be a Disney princess twice.
I did audition once.
I used to work at Hooters. Well, I did work at Hooters for like a month.
And one time me extending my hand when I worked at Hooters on Hollywood Boulevard was the cause of someone raping me on Hollywood Boulevard, and the cops didn't do shit about it. Like, it's because, you know why? I extended someone money because I thought that was the thing to do.
Oh, I need to help him. But I think he's gonna pass me. Oh my gosh, homeless person. I need to help you. I'll give him $5. I don't know.
Here. Good, how are you? I'm hanging in there. Good. You thank you too, God bless.
The moment you put yourself in a vulnerable situation, one time me extending my hand when I worked at Hooters on Hollywood Boulevard was the cause of someone raping me on Hollywood Boulevard. When I worked at Hooters on Hollywood Boulevard.
Hashtag Ask Trisha, this is from Twitter. When you were a stripper and worked at Hooters, were you plus size? I was a lot smaller. If you see my earlier videos, like for my very first apartment where it was like really small and I had like more of a gold hair, that's about the size I was. I was about a size 6.
For so long, I've always felt like this my whole life. Like I wanted to apply at Hooters when I had lost 20 pounds. I wanted to join a Miss USA pageant when I had lost 30 pounds. I said, okay, I'll invest in some singing lessons and recording time if I lose 50 pounds. And everything was, if I do this, when I lose weight, when I need to be under size 10 to do something. And it was holding me back. And it wasn't until I was 27 that I was like, okay.
What's the dream job you've always wanted that may not seem like a dream job to other people? Domino's employee. But way before it became a thing on TikTok, I actually wanted to work at Domino's. And I've actually applied twice and never got hired. And I'll tell you why. The first time I applied at a downtown LA Domino's Pizza, and I wasn't even working downtown. This was like maybe like literally weeks of me moving to LA. I was like 18. The store got held up. Like someone was robbing it. The interview couldn't commence. The second time was in the Domino's right next to Quentin Tarantino's movie theater on Beverly Boulevard in like the Hollywood area. And I went in and they like checked your MySpace. Like they had my MySpace pulled up and it had all Quentin Tarantino pictures. And like, oh, do you know Quentin Tarantino? And I'm like, no, I'm just like a really obsessed fan, like a little crazy, like stalker. His movie theater's next door. And then they ended the interview abruptly. And then they're just like, okay, thank you. Nothing. I was in a Domino's one time picking up a pizza in downtown LA and got like held up and like someone got shot and I'm like, oh my god, this is how I'm gonna die. Like that was pretty crazy. The first time I applied at a downtown LA Domino's Pizza, and I wasn't even working downtown. This was like maybe like literally weeks of me moving to LA. I was like 18. The store got held up. I was in a Domino's one time picking up a pizza.
My dream job when I was younger was to do fast food. Like I really did. And I swear I never got Did you go to college?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's why, because I feel like even out here, I couldn't get a job like at all, like period. That's why I like stripped and stuff like that, because I like applied but I couldn't.
I had a lot of jobs. I worked a lot of jobs, kept very few of them.
It's really draining. It drains you. You literally just feel like you can't do anything else. Like it's so hard. It's why I want to be like a stripper, because honestly, I could go at night. It was like less like physical work and not dancing, but like you're only there for a few hours as opposed to like an 8-hour shift. And because I just didn't have time, I just didn't have energy for anything else. And it's so hard. I feel like even out here, I couldn't get a job like at all, like period. That's why I like stripped and stuff like that.
I used to make like, I was a barista. I used to make coffee at Yahoo. They used to get free coffee in the morning, which is even worse when they get something for free. Then they're really snobby, because it was like in an office building. And then I worked at this place called D-Lush making smoothies. I worked at the Disney Soda Fountain for like 2 weeks. That didn't last long because Disney fired my ass real quick. I quit a lot of my jobs, but the worst jobs were retail. So if you work retail, God bless you, because, well, that was the worst for me. Because, I don't know, maybe it's just the managers. I feel like if you have a good manager, you're probably okay. But mine were on such a power trip against me, like, always making me just, I mean, if there was a lull, right, in the day and nobody was coming in, they would just, like, have you do stuff to be busy. And, like, let's say everything was already sold, they're, like, restocking, and you already did inventory. They would literally, like, unfold stuff for you to fold. Like, I don't know if that's normal. This place called Neighborhood that's since closed down. I wonder why. It was just awful. Oh my god, they were so awful there.
I worked at Target. I worked at D-Lush, which is like a smoothie place. I worked at Starbucks.
I used to make coffee at Yahoo.
I worked at the Disney soda fountain. The one job that comes to mind that I did like was working at a place called Neighborhoodies.
It was just awful. Oh my god, they were so awful there.
Yeah, I loved Neighborhoodies. I don't know if those are still around, but it was just like a custom do-it-yourself store. You come in, pick the font, pick what you wanted to say. Kind of like the Jersey Shore store, but it was at the Hollywood and Highland Mall. And I actually really loved that job. I actually really liked working at Sprinkles Cupcakes. It paid really well. Like, I worked part-time and got like $16 an hour. Sprinkles is like a gourmet cupcake place in Beverly Hills. Plus, you always got to see celebrities, which was really cool. And people left really good tips. Plus, you got a free cupcake every day you worked, which was a pretty awesome job.
I need to get out of the house, but I'm working on that. I don't know what to do to get out of the house. Someone's like, you should be like a bartender or something. Oh my god, could you imagine me as a bartender? It'd be the worst. I was a waitress for a while and I was just so awful. Truly, I couldn't do it. So I went to stripping.
Oh, she's cosplaying minimum wage workers again. That's so tacky. Actually, no. I'm fulfilling a dream. My dream was to be a Starbucks barista between the ages of 18 and 24, and I applied at 6 different locations, and never once did I get hired due to lack of experience. So I had to go sell my body instead of learning how to make delicious frappuccinos.
Like I said, I did work as a barista in like other coffee shops, and like people are so dang picky about their coffee. I was also like a waitress and a bartender and all that stuff, and like, I mean, a freaking scripper for that matter. And no one is more particular than coffee drinkers. Like, you have to get that foam at the right temperature, otherwise they know. They're like, no, this isn't like freaking 75 degrees or whatever they want. You know what I mean? Or 175. I don't even know. I just remember it being like, how do you even test the froth? I didn't even know how to. Anyways, I have so much respect for Starbucks employees. I was also like a waitress and a bartender.
My sister was a bartender and my mom. That's one thing I never did either.
I was also like a waitress and a bartender.
There was a point where I really wanted to just like go bartend to like meet people. I was never a bartender.
Oh my god, could you imagine me as a bartender? It'd be the worst.
I've actually never worked at Starbucks.
I always have called myself a hooker, but I was an escort.
I call it escorting, but it's more hooking, yeah.
Okay. Oh, so it's not special?
No.
So he's getting a home meal to take home.
Yeah.
That he's not touching.
Yeah, that's what they do all the time.
All the time?
Yeah, it's like a thing here. Or just certain dishes like fettuccine, spaghetti meatballs.
You used to work here?
Yeah, I did actually in Rockford. Yeah, in Rockford, Illinois. I swear, look it up. I worked at Olive Garden for like 6 months and Red Lobster for like 6 months.
Is that why you like it so much here?
I didn't eat it much when I was like younger, but
Yeah, but once you quit, you were like,
I love it. Yeah, because they never gave us free meals or anything, so I couldn't afford it.
Gotcha.
I never had held a job, and I was 18 at the time when I got the job. I swear, look it up. I worked at Olive Garden for like 6 months and Red Lobster for like 6 months. Neighborhoodies. Oh, yeah. It was a good concept.
You were there a while.
Yeah, that was my longest, like 3 months. There's some realities of the world that people just don't have to face. Like, now you can be an influencer at 16 and make millions of dollars. You know what I was doing at 16? Cleaning up puke off the little pony rides at golfing games. Rockford, Illinois, look it up. Like, it was a shitty, like, thing for people to, they had like a little bumper boats that were dirty. They had like a mini putt-putt that was ghetto. Like, and I would literally clean up kids' pukes for $6 an hour, and I would still get yelled at by my managers. And you know what? That's just what you did, because that's how you made a buck. And you know what? You could appreciate like the good things that came a little easier. And yes, being an influencer has like it's, you know, it is. You work 24 hours a day, but you like what you do, and yes, you get hate. But like, you like what you do. Nobody likes cleaning off puke off the putt-putt at the windmill putt-putt. And you're making bank. I don't care what anyone says. Making money does make you a little happier. Like, a lot of these people have never worked minimum wage, and it shows. And they should have to. They should have to.
I never had to work either. Like, they never made us get jobs because they just like wanted us to focus on our school.
You know what I was doing at 16? Cleaning up puke off the little pony rides at golfing games. Rockford, Illinois, look it up.
I didn't have a job growing up or anything. I went to makeup school. I worked at a funeral home doing makeup. I worked on a couple TV sets doing makeups. I'd never been to hair school or cosmetology school. I worked at a funeral home doing makeup.
I worked in a morgue, and I was like really
Did you deal with the bodies or no?
I was like an assistant makeup artist, like literally. Like, I went to like makeup school for like, I didn't graduate, but they like placed me in like this like funeral home, and so I was like, I'd go in there at night, and I would just like assist, like I would like clean brushes and stuff. I wasn't like on the body,
Yeah.
but he did pay like $40 an hour, which was good back in like 2006. It was pretty good.
He used to sell meat out of his car. Did you know that?
I was his assistant then.
Oh, when he was selling steaks out of his car?
Mm-hmm. He lived in that big house in Hollywood.
Yeah.
What? And he had a Hummer, and he
Yeah.
was like, and he paid me like $6 an hour,
$40 an hour.
I did work at the Disney soda fountain. It's no longer there. It's on Hollywood Boulevard near the El Capitan. I think it's the Ghirardelli factory now. They're so strict. If you're a minute late, like twice, you're fired. It's like really crazy. And then like your nails have to be short and plain, and they get a little long. You're like written up. I quit that job like it was like a month maybe. Just not about it.
At the Disney soda fountain. She was my manager. She was young. She was like 21 at the time. I was like 18. She was really mean to me, and she was the one that got me fired.
I quit.
I was working at Disney Soda Fountain and got fired.
Disney what?
Soda Fountain. It's the Ghirardelli factory now, right
Why'd
by.
you get fired?
Oh, I can't say.
You better say it right now.
I can't say.
How bad could it be at Disney Soda Factory?
I don't, because I think they released me for a different reason. I was definitely having sex inside.
So you were caught having sex inside of the restaurant?
Yeah, like not even in the bathroom.
And they just, where?
Like inside. I got fired for nail polish.
Disney soda fountain. I worked there for like a week.
Oh, not great. Because you could have had nails.
In a week? No, I was there like 6 weeks probably.
Oh, I'm like, damn.
I want to say I think I might have applied knowing that they had premieres there, and I feel like I knew Pirates was going to premiere there. I feel like maybe I was making that up in my head.
I love that.
I think that's why I applied there, because they made me take off my nails, and I was like, oh, but I did get to like wait on Johnny Depp. I worked at the Disney soda fountain for like 2 weeks. It was like a month maybe. I was there like 6 weeks probably.
But they'd also like make you like fold clothes when it was just awful. Like they make you do stupid stuff when no one was in there.
Neighborhoodies was the best for you.
That was great because they all slacked. You literally didn't have to work at all. It was just like you just stood there. It was so great.
Retail's the worst because they also make you be busy for no. I did like one job and they just make you fold even if stuff's folded, like inventory.
Yeah.
My first job was at Target. You know what I was doing at 16? Cleaning up puke off the little pony rides at golfing games. Rockford, Illinois, look it up.
I never really had to work in high school or anything, so I didn't really know about jobs and how to do them and how to go about getting them and getting money. Like I didn't really know anything like that.
You used to work here?
Yeah, I did actually
really?
in
Did you really
Rockford.
work here?
Yeah, in Rockford, Illinois. I swear, look it up. I worked at Olive Garden for like 6 months and Red Lobster for like 6 months.
My longest food job was at the Disney soda fountain. I asked if I'm a writer. I write for an online magazine.
I once was a pizza delivery girl for 2 weeks. It was my second job ever. Fun fact, true story. Here's a fun fact. I swear, look it up.